Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So today's video is the last sketch challenge of the all ears crops that I had to do, and it's the bingo challenge. I don't know how it wound up being the last one, but let's go ahead and dig on in. So I'm going to do a diagonal. I'm going to circle the ones that I'm doing so that way we can see up close. I know there's hearts. We got to use hearts, stars, doodle on the project, and use metal embellishment. So I'm going to use one of these flares, which has metal on the bottom. So I'm going to use one of those. And then all we'll have to do is add some hearts and stars and do some doodling. And I will admit here before we get to the end, I almost forget the doodling. But we catch it in the end, okay? So I'm using this Echo Park, I believe it is, Magical Birthday. And it has a Disney theme feel to it. And I'm using some marshmallow, basil marshmallow paper to make our layout on today. So I'm just trimming it down to 12 inches, taking the branding strip off. And then I have a sketch. I didn't put it on here to show you, but there was a little bit of mixed media underneath where the sort of like the photo cluster was. So I knew I wanted to get my fossilized amber out, and I have the new tins that came in for our distress spritz inks, so I can keep them neatly kind of tucked away. And I'm going to grab one of the new colors, which is the, no, this was out of the second group. This is Kitsch Flamingo, I believe. And actually, I don't even know why I'm guessing it's right here on my desk. Let me look. Yeah, Kitsch Flamingo and Fossilized Amber are the two spritz that we use. So I'm just going to shake it up. You got to shake it up to get that pigment moving around. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wind up grabbing a piece of plastic, and we're going to spritz on the plastic itself and then do what's called the smushing technique. So I'm dropping some of the drops, and we're just going to smush it around, trying not to create any harsh lines, but to create a little bit of what looks like movement on the background. And we just keep going, keeping it thin because we want it to be light. There are times where you may want it darker, but for this particular layout, I just want a little bit of that pink shimmer peeking out for the back. All right, so now I'm going to just clean my plastic. And stuff like this you can save and just keep reusing over and over and over again. I really like the flexibility of this, so that's why I wanted to clean it and keep it, so that way I can use it on another project. Okay, so we're going to start by cutting this page here to 5.5. And this on the back side has the stars. Sorry if you hear that. My phone, I'm getting a couple of alerts. And then I think on the pink stars, we're going to add all 4 of the photos. So the 3 photos are of the one little girl. They had a couple of different photos in front of the Disney castle. So I decided to grab those 3, and then I took a castle picture from the internet. And I just found the best one that was the most open because I figure it would tie it in. And I've never really used 4 photos on a layout before, but this kind of like overlapping look I really liked. Now in the sketch that I got, the top photo is more horizontal, but I decided just to go with all the verticals because that's what they were all taken in. Doing a lot of these layouts, I come to learn I do a lot of vertical, not that many horizontal, And it's definitely something I need to work on. For every vertical photo, I need to remember to turn the phone and take one horizontally as well. Okay, so I think I may take a piece of that multicolored star in the black, um, cut a little bit of that, and then I like these tags on here. So I think what we'll wind up doing is cutting out a few tags as well. Now, what's really crazy is right about here, my lights went out. The whole neighborhood lost electricity. It was so crazy. But thankfully, when I came back, all of my filming was still available. I was able to restore. So we're just going to keep going. And I'm going to go ahead and trim down this black paper. It was so scary, though, because I was like, what am I going to do? I'm going to have to do a whole new uh a whole new base paper and show that part again if I had lost it. Oh my god. I was so scared. But I trimmed the 1-inch piece of the stars on the black paper, which we're going to wind up using. And then I was thinking I might use this page or piece. Maybe I can put it behind something. I'm not sure. So that's why I'm just, a lot of times I pull out stuff with the idea that I may or may not use it. We're not sure, you know what I mean? But we're gonna use it, try and use it anyway. Okay, so now I have this other piece. I have my little heart punch, and I actually have a little star punch as well. And now I'm just trying to see where I'm going to put it. If I wanted to put it at the very end, or did I want to split it up and put half and half. We're going to play around with a few things. So I'm just trying to figure out my order. And it changes here and there with the photos. At one point, I think I thought maybe I could separate it a little bit, give it a little bit of space in between. I didn't like that either. So I'm just kind of winging it, really. Because like I said, I have the sketch on my computer that I'm trying to eye and keep an idea. I like this tag here. It says, "It's your day." This was her 7th birthday. So the sketch I use, the tag is a lot bigger, but I mean, if they have tags, you might as well use them. And I was thinking I was going to put the 2 in the same spot, but I wound up putting the 1 and then that pink one with the lines. You'll see we're going to be moving this around a little bit. Okay, this isn't set in stone. We're going to be moving some things around and just playing and figuring out, how we want everything to kind of land. And looking at it, I actually didn't mind this setup here, but I do wind up changing it. And I had some scrap papers, so I'm going to go ahead and start punching some hearts and stars out of. And we're going to create a little pile. So I have some blue, some pink, and I think even some black. Okay, so we're just going to put those over to the side. All right. Sorry, I'm kind of off camera. Just trying to get stuff lined up and punching these little bits. Sometimes you forget that you're a little bit off camera, but I'm just trying to not go off the edge and have it look weird, even though you can, and then just line it right up to the edge of the paper. That would have been cute next time. Okay. And I think we just have a few more, and then that's it. There you go. And I like the fact that I move these little ones closer to me at my desk, because I'm like, that is so stinking cute, and we can use that at any time, those little type of punches. So I'm gonna keep them there. All right, so this is what I think we're gonna go with. But then I decide, I think I want the black on both sides and to move it over towards the right a little bit more. Because you can see here, I'm trying to think. Like, what should I do? What should I do? So I'm going to give myself two pieces. And then if I were to put it on each end, I don't mind that. That would have been cute. And then I was like, no. I like it not being right in the center. Let me try doing something else. So I felt like the photos were being lost. So I've put them onto an eighth of an inch mat. And then we're going to do the same thing for these four. I had paused to go cut the black paper. That's why there was that little bit of a jump. But I don't think nothing is laid down or is in stone yet. I'm just finishing up getting the little bit of a border because I think on the paper using the borders helps separate each photo. I don't mind it looking like, oh yeah, we separated that. Do you know what I mean? Like they're each distinct photos. They're not going to just blend into each other. All right, so we're going to go ahead and finish getting these attached. And if you've ever seen my videos, you already know. If you haven't, if this is your first time finding me, I use tape and glue. A lot of times it's because I need that wiggle room. It allows me a few seconds to where I can remove or, separate two pieces without it being adhered permanently. So that's why I use the tape and glue. All of a sudden this morning my phone wants to be all alerty. Okay, so we got one more photo to do. I did wind up having to trim just a little bit on this one because it was just a little too big on one side, but that's okay. And now we're going to get the last photo attached, and then we can probably start getting everything figured out. Okay. And there we go. All right. So now we're going to start to lay everything down. So I'm taking our strip, of course, with the tape, hitting it with a little bit of glue. And instead of having such a large section, I am going to move everything over just a smidge. Just a smidge. And it's so that we can see more of the pretty background that we created. And let me tell you, that shimmer is to die for. I think I'm going to be doing that a lot more. Using the spritz for my background, like the smushing techniques. Oh my God. Especially like this Kitsch Flamingo. It is such a soft, subtle pink. And yet when you tilt it in the light, oh my God, that shimmer is chef's kiss. It really is. So now you get to watch me fight with my glue. I mean, is it a live video if something doesn't go wrong with either your glue, your tape, or a combination of both? I don't think you can call it a live video unless something happens. So I'm trying to clean out the top of my large bottle. And even after I clean it out and I start to squeeze, it's still going to give me problems coming out. It's like it's open. Like, what's stopping it from coming on through? I don't have time to figure it out. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to overly stress. I'm not going to drive myself crazy. So I wind up grabbing the Barely Art glue because it's also on my desk. That's why I keep so many glues around. I'm telling you, because if it's going to give me the fits, I will put it down until later And I'll grab one of the other ones and work on that. So there's the Barely Art glue, which is funny because a lot of times, if not this one, but in the glue that's in the glue press, I've used the Barely Art glue in those, and it works fine. But it's so funny that it's been sitting there, and then today, my other glue wants to give me problems. So we're just gluing all the pieces down. And there you go. Now we can start laying down some of the photos. Okay, so let's lay out the photos. And don't worry if a little bit of the photos like come off the edge. That's okay. So this is me playing with it. Trying to figure out which way is going to be the best. And we just keep moving it around till we find the sweet spot, basically. So I'm gonna move that tag over to the right. I really like that with the enamel dot with the flare. And then we have the big tag on the bottom at the left. And then I'm trying to look and see where do we want to put our title. So I decide, you know what? I'm going to put it, I was thinking partially on the photo, partially off, obviously. But I don't think it needs to go that far. So let's go ahead and lay these down so that way we get this, everything in its position for the final measurements, not measurements, but you know, placements. All right. All right. Tape and glue. And then we're going to put that piece down. And then we're going to just slide that in with the flare. All right. So here's where I was thinking, do I layer it and put a little bit of space in between? And then I was like, no, I really like the cluster. I liked all four of the photos kind of overlapping each other. So I decided I'm gonna go ahead and leave it the first way, the way I was initially doing, and we'll go from there. Only because I didn't like all that space in between. Now we can always try this again and put the stencils the way that we didn't on this particular layout. But you know, that's the cool thing about the different projects that you make, because you can always go back and revamp and try it again. Any projects that you put together. So I like that. All right, and the last piece. Okay. All right. So that's too high. I was going to put it on the side, but then I decided, you know what? Right in front, right there, a little bit over the photo, I'm going to put it down. I'm going to place it. That's it. Because sometimes if you overthink it, you'll be going, moving and moving and moving. And with the stickers, you can turn it into a cardstock piece by just putting some powder on the back of it. But I really didn't want to do all that. Oh, it's okay. You're going to be on the video, Salem. Okay. So I just put down happy. So that sticker with the flag says birthday. And I grabbed some of the doodle alphas, the alphabet soup, and the light, like the baby pink, which matched perfectly with this collection. And I'm just putting a little bit of wet glue behind each of the letters. I know. And then putting them back down and just trying to make sure they're as straight as possible. And then what? Oh, I'm putting down the Y. I was like, what letter is that? It looked really tiny. That was the other P, and now I'm doing the Y. Duh. Ooh, ooh. Salem has left the building, y'all. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and put down all of our little bits. So I'm putting down the hearts, just a little bit of glue, and then putting the hearts down into like 3 areas. So around the sentiment, and then up in the upper right and the bottom left corners. And then I just decided, you know what, I want to put one up there. There's a lot of open space on that photo, so I put a heart there. And then once I do the heart, I'm going to do the same idea with the stars. But I'm going to go around with the stars and kind of put them with each of the hearts. So that way the whole thing is celebratory. I don't know if that got caught on the thing, but if you heard anything like a rumble, that was Fort Liberty, aka Fort Bragg. It just shook the whole house. Okay, so now we're gonna look at. They got some different things on the sticker sheet. I liked this cupcake. So we're gonna put the cupcake with the candle next to the happy birthday. I put a little bit of glue on it and put it down. And then I don't know if I grab it first or okay. So I'm gonna start putting on some of the photos these little squigglies. They're like party squigglies. You know, you've seen them before. That way, all the photos have something on, one of the corners. I think that's super cute. And then I grab 2 of the flag elements and I'm going to layer them on top of each other and then trim off the one that's hanging off a little bit. And then that way they both line up right to the edge. And then I'm still looking at the sticker sheet, trying to figure out if there's something else that I want to do. So I'm grabbing it again, and I want to say there were some words, and then I grabbed the best birthday ever sticker, and we're gonna put some foam on this one. I'm just cutting up some pieces of foam that I had on my desk, and we're gonna put 3 of them so that way it gives it a little dimension up here in the left corner. And then we'll take off the backing and put a little bit of glue on each of those. All right. And then, so that's what everything is looking. I like that. I really like how that's looking. Okay, so I believe now. Oh, yeah, I found that camera, but it wasn't in the right color tones. But I'm looking for my photo covers because we're going to wind up doing our splatters, which should be fun. I'm going to use the gold and black, and I'm going to use a little bit of white because the white is going to show up more on the color papers. We're going to lay down some coverings. All right. I keep them all together. You can see I can find it so easily. Lord. You would think I would have like a one central space, so that way I always know where to get my covering since I splatter on everything. Okay, so we're just splattering using our stencil from Vicky Booten. What did I just say? I just said a stencil from Vicky Booten, y'all. I ain't using no stencil. I'm just splattering. Lord, what am I talking about? Oh, please just bear with me. You would think I recorded this at like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, and right now it's only 8:20 in the morning. But I'm like in between that sleep and awake. But I wanted to get this up in time so that way I would officially be done with this challenge, and I did them all. I'm so excited. This is my second time. I haven't uploaded any of my photos yet, but that's the plan for Sunday, which is the last day today. You guys are watching this, is to get them loaded so that way I can share all the layouts that I made with you guys for this particular crop session. Okay. And then here is where I was like, oh, I didn't do any doodling. I have the hearts, I have the stars, I have the metal embellishment. So I'm just grabbing a black pen and I'm putting down little squiggly lines all over on the pink and in some areas on the white background. So that way the doodling part is met. And then in the upper right and the bottom left, I'm putting a little bit of dash lines, which counts as doodling. And that's it. So your doodling can be complicated or it can be super simple. I just want to add a few more of those little squiggly lines to kind of tie in with the squigglies that we put on top of the photos. And there you have it. Boop, boop. A little bit of doodle, a little bit of doodle, a little bit of fun. And that's it. If you wanted to, you could also do the sketch lines, the stitch lines all around all four corners. That would still count. But I just figured, maybe just a little bit right in the little corners there. They'll give you a little bit of something and then you'll be all set. Okay, so we made it, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you haven't, please consider hitting the like button and the subscribe button. I'm so appreciative for all of you who have stayed here with me as I go from layouts and cards to, whatever hits my fancy. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And I will see you guys with our next video. Have a great one.